Doing WES evaluation has a probability of increasing your CGPA. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I still remain in Willy. So this is a continuation of a previous video that I made. In case you are yet to see that one, there will be a link to lead you there to see it. For this video, I'll be discussing on 3 main topics. But before then, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe and share it with your friends, especially those you think will have need of this content I'm sharing here. I am hoping that by sharing this content, you'll be able to successfully go through your master's application process with little or no help. The first thing I'll be discussing today is DIY, doing it yourself. So personally for me, my master's application and my scholarship application, I did it myself. I did not use any agent for it. The only persons I used were my friends around me. For example, for my cover letters and when I was preparing my transcript, I reached out to friends to help me with it, to show me how to go about it. I wrote the cover letter, I gave it to friends. Please, can you help me read it? Where are the mistakes? What can I improve? I checked online for samples of cover letters and used it to prepare mine. So I'm really encouraging doing it yourself, because when you do it yourself, it helps you to research well. As you're doing it yourself, you could come across information that is going to help you either in your application process. You could come across information that could help you if there happens to be an interview stage in your application. And this doing it yourself just makes you confident. So I really encourage doing it yourself. I'm not saying it's bad to give to reach out to an agent to help you with the application process, but if the agent is not meticulous in doing it, then you could have problems later on. Maybe they spelled your name wrongly, or they just did not really look out for as much options as possible. Secondly, if you have a low budget for this master's application process, it's going to just be a lot for you. And for Christ's sake, you have Google is there for you. So try and make Google your friend and just research all this information that you need for your application process. So the next thing I'll be sharing with you guys is WES evaluation, and then I'll share with you a sample of an unofficial transcript and possibly show you how to calculate it. Although this is going to be based on the University of Benin, so you just have to find out how it is being done in your own school and then use that method to prepare yourself. WES evaluation is mainly for those that want to study in the US or Canada. What's the meaning of WES? It's World Education Services. It actually evaluates your credentials based on the American standards. WES is easily recognizable by schools in the US and Canada, and it just makes you stand out amongst the various competitions. It identifies that your credentials are actually authentic, especially to schools in the US and Canada that don't really know about your own school. So how do you go about applying for WES? You can simply go to their portal, wes.org, and you create your account and you start the application. You don't need an agent for this. You can simply do it yourself. So if you go on their website, you are going to see that the amount for WES evaluation is about $160. So it's actually quite expensive. That is why I just advise, if you are going to other countries or other places, you don't really need it. It has a chance of actually increasing your CGPA. It just has a chance. It's a 50-50 depending on how it's being evaluated, or depending on how your previous transcript was evaluated by your schools. And also the standards of your previous school is going to be taken into consideration when evaluating your grade. And for WES evaluation, it is the official transcript that is being used here and not the unofficial transcript. So they're going to communicate to your school to send them your official transcript and for it to be evaluated, and you have to be patient and wait till you get the feedback. I think you also have to pay postal fee and maybe other fees. So if you want to do this, you just have to budget $160 to $200 for it. I am going to drop the link to their website in the description below, so you can kindly check and find out more about this process. The next thing is going to be a sample of the unofficial transcript. This unofficial transcript, I used it to get admissions in schools in the UK and also in Europe. I used it to get admissions into schools like University of Liverpool, University of York, Lancaster University. So it's actually credible. It will be stated on the transcript that it is unofficial, and plus it's not signed, but it's going to be used for your admission process. What do you need to prepare an unofficial transcript? You simply need to know your grades from your first year to your final year, and you also need to know the way CGPAs are being calculated in your school. That is in terms of what percentages and the credit load that is required for each year. For example, University of Benin, in the first year you might need like 40 credit load depending on the department. In second year you might need like 30 credit load, third year the same, and so on. So you just need to know all this information, and you also need to know what percentages constitute the overall CGPA. For example, in first year you might need 10% of your CGPA, second year you might need 20%, third year 30%, fourth year 40%. You just have to know all these things. How is it being done in your school? Because that's the same that's going to reflect on the official transcript. So the transcript I'll be using today for this video is a transcript from University of Benin, and you can see there by the side it's stated that it is an unofficial transcript. We have the name of the student and other important details. And if you go down, you're going to see the session, the course, the subject, the grades, and the credits. And then you now have the weighted degree average score. So for year 1, we need 10% of the grades. For year 2, we need 20% of the grades. For year 3, we need 30% of the grades. And then for year 4, we need 40% of the grades. This will now give you your final CGPA. This is for the University of Benin. You just have to find out how it is being done in your own school. I hope that this is going to help you in preparing your own unofficial transcript. If you have any question, you could always leave it in the comments, or you reach out to me with your questions. I think the only problem that you have in preparing unofficial transcript is if you don't know your final CGPA, or you can't recall your grades that you had during the course of your studies. But for the University of Benin, you could always go back to your page, your student page, and check it. It's still there. Or you could always reach out to your course advisor or any credible source that you have in school to tell you your grades and you use to prepare your unofficial transcript. I advise that you prepare your unofficial transcript because at times it could really take time for you to get your official transcript. The only thing I'm going to say is that you should be truthful when you are calculating your CGPA, or when you are preparing your unofficial transcript, so that by the time your official transcript comes, it's going to align with everything. Next thing I'll be sharing with you guys is on cover letters. I'm not really good with cover letters, but for my master's application, I was privileged to have friends around me that were good at this. So I simply wrote something and I reached out to them to help me look at it. And I now looked also at samples online on how to write cover letters. So I'm just going to be sharing a sample with you. Note that this is not a standard on how to write cover letter. I'm just sharing this with you for you to have an idea on how it looks like, how each paragraph should be, what should you be talking about. Yours should even be better than mine. So the first and second paragraph is basically an introduction. You could simply tell a story on what inspired you maybe as a child. You could simply discuss why you made this choice, maybe a choice to further your master's degree. You could also talk about your undergraduate background. What did you do as an undergraduate? Cite example of the courses that you took in your undergraduate that maybe inspired you to take this career path that you want to go into. Next paragraph should be about your work experiences. Maybe you did internship, or you were privileged to work after school, and this work experience aligns with your career path or the master's degree that you want to undertake. You could always cite it there. You could also mention leadership experience, maybe while you were working or as an undergraduate. What did you do that is making you to want to further your master's in that particular field? You could state it there. So the next paragraph, you could just simply talk about the school and the course that you want to pursue. You could cite an example of a course in that program that is being taught by a particular professor, and you state what you stand to gain in that particular course. It shows the panel that you have made your research and that you are serious about this and you want to do it. You could also make example of projects that you get to carry out by doing this course, and maybe collaborations that you stand to gain from doing this course. You could also talk about the city that the school is located. Maybe they have clubs there and sports that you like, sporting activities or volunteering activities that you like to engage in. You can also mention it. For example, in the city of Liverpool, you could say, oh, my favorite club is there. Or in Manchester, you could say, oh, that's my favorite club, it's located in that particular city. Or maybe you like skiing, you like hiking, you like swimming. You could just cite example of a recreational activity in that particular city that also entices you to want to come to that school. It all simply shows that you are able to balance both school and social life. You can go ahead to state what you are going to do with the skills that you acquire from the program, and maybe speak about your career goals or your aspirations for the future. You don't really need to have very big goals, but be realistic. You don't need to tell them you're going to build heaven on earth. You just need to be realistic with your career goals. It simply shows that you know where you are going to. Like I said before, this is not a standard for writing cover letter. I am just sharing this with you because I want to be as detailed as possible, and I personally know how frustrating it can be when you don't even know how to start, where to start from. Even after researching online on samples of cover letter, you're still confused. So I'm making this personal for you. I've used it and it helped me in getting my own admission, so you could always gain insights from this to prepare yours, and hopefully you are going to get the admission you're looking for. Let's have a recap of what I discussed in this video. I've really encouraged doing it yourself because this is what I did, and doing it yourself makes you more confident of your work. You have Google, you have YouTube videos like mine that can help you in doing it your own. I've also discussed on WES Evaluation. This is majorly for persons that want to study in the US and Canada. It's because it's easily recognizable by schools in the US and Canada, and it also makes you stand out in the crowd. So if you have the finances, you could always go ahead to do WES Evaluation. I've also talked about unofficial transcript. I've shown you a sample from the University of Benin, and I hope that this will help you to prepare yours. I really encourage you to prepare an unofficial transcript if you're able to get your official transcript. The last thing I spoke on is cover letter. Like I said, that's not a standard. I'm just sharing it for you to have insight. One thing with cover letter is that once you write the first one, it becomes much more easier for you to write the other ones. I know essays might not be your thing. Trust me, they're not mine. I don't like it at all. But I needed the masters and I needed the scholarship, so I just had to learn to write it. And once you write it, you could always reach out to your friends around you to help you. Go online, research, and watch YouTube videos like mine to help you. Always remember that I am rooting for you to succeed. That's why I'm sharing all these resources on my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to be as detailed as possible. So when you get that one yes, we just need one yes. So once you get that your one yes, remember to share it with me so I can celebrate with you, I can dance with you, I can clap for you, I can jump for you. Lastly, remember to share, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time.